G'day, and thank you so much for joining and hitting play on the show today. Unintentionally rhyming. Hey, look, there is content everywhere. I just took my dog to the vet to get his nails done, as in get them clipped. Not as exciting as getting a manicure, but on the way there, on my Spotify playlist, my day list, which if you don't know is a fun AI tool that is used to just predict what songs you might listen to at that time of day based on your history, and also predictive tools like, oh, you like this song, so you might like this one. Anyway, the song that came up was one of my all-time favorite songs. I would definitely say it's top 5. I actually can't believe I'm saying that. This song has just grown on me over the years. The song is White Town, Your Woman, and I don't want to get a copyright strike against me, but I did find a MIDI online. I haven't used a MIDI in forever. I think the last time I used a MIDI file was when I was updating the ringtone on my Nokia 3210 back in, 2006? Who knows? Anyway, so I'm just going to play that MIDI track, and you will recognize the song if you do know the song. Okay, hope you enjoyed that MIDI. It definitely doesn't do the song justice. Why I love the song, so many reasons. This song was released in 1997, and back then I liked it. The film clip was a bit weird. It's black and white. The song is, I think it is kind of weird as well. It's haunting, but it's also really cool. And when you listen to it, when you got audio with a really good bass, you just pick up on so many different layers. And I'm sure many of you don't know this, but I used to play the euphonium and the tuba. I played the bass. And so when I listen to songs, I'm always curious around what that bass sounds like. Not to say that I love the bass. Like, I got kind of frustrated. I remember practicing at home and I was playing like duh, duh, duh. That was basically it, just practicing that on the beat. And you couldn't guess what it was. And I'm like, of course, the song is Kokomo by the Beach Boys. It was an instrument that just doesn't get the accolades. Later on in life, I just taught myself clarinet because I wanted to play more of the melody. But anyway, I'm not really a muso, but I do have a muso friend. His name is Joel Birch. He's based in Perth. He's a facilitator. And I Instagrammed Joel a message around the song. I'm going to play that for you. And then I want to play Joel's response to that as well. Hey, Joel, Happy New Year. I was just driving home and White Town, Your Woman came on. And I was like, I freaking love this song. I'm wondering, what is a technical term? I'm trying to describe something here. A technical term in music for, I'm trying to think of why I love this song so much. And it's like the bass, but it's also the beat. But I'm wondering if like just the underpinning, I don't even know how to put this. If you listen to it, there's something magical about that bass and the beat of that song. But the contrast of that with the melody as well. Is there a technical term for it? That's my question. Sorry for the randomness. Okay, have a good one. Bye.
So what you're hearing there is polyphony, which is basically Greek for many voices. Particularly in it, you're hearing a technique, I think, called counterpoint, which is where you have different voices and different melodies in there playing different roles. So the playlist I've given you has a few examples. Everything's doing the same thing and working really closely together, and that makes it sound cohesive and tight, and in this case, just blunt force heavy. Other styles of music that can kind of make things sound driving and exciting and thrilling, or to just draw your attention back to a central idea or mood. There's a little bit of a side point that I've taken out here in terms of kind of reinterpretations and use of key. So like in almost any bit of music, there's mood and expression and things lurking that can be masked and re-expressed and given a completely different flavor without really changing much. Losing My Religion in a major key almost sounds unhinged in the way that those bright, happy melodies mask really somber lyrics. And Every Breath You Take in a minor key actually sounds like as dark and unsettling as a stalker anthem always should have been. Then there's that cover of Hey Ya by Sleep Token. And that's just, for me, that's a beautiful example of something that we know as being a big, bright, fun song that masks a really sad story. Okay, this brings us to counterpoint. So I've got Change by Carnival in there. Just listen to the first couple of minutes. The drums are rhythmically disorienting. The bass creates this sense of tension. And then when the guitar comes in, it provides this grounding influence and the vocal kind of pulls you forward. when the band comes together, like the drums, they got that flabby hi-hat and the snare that's offbeat, and that the drums are still disorienting you. But that driving guitar creates a real sense of urgency, and the vocal kind of gives you a vehicle to float on with it. So that's a really good example. Because you don't often hear counterpoint used in a lot of pop music, I think the best example to take it back to is good old Bohemian Rhapsody, because it's kind of using a million different things in different ways to build kind of this big sense of like a landscape and a palette of things going on. So yeah, I'm glad you hit me up with this one, because it was an exciting one to play with.
Cool. Thanks so much, Joel. Really helpful. And I was listening to that idea of like many voices. Some of the songs in pop, it is kind of rare. A lot of the songs reinforce a direction, but I think with this song, it's just all these different elements. And I'd love to be fun just to isolate those elements too. Now, one other thing about this song is, as I was investigating more about this song, so a few sort of fun facts, it hit number 1 in the UK singles track. The track is primarily known for its blend of electronic beats and its distinctive sample from Al Bowley's 1932 song, My Woman. The juxtaposition of old-school jazz instrumentation with modern electronic production creates a timeless, genre-defying sound. It is genre-defining, and I think it's, like, for me, endless. I just love this song even more. And like I said, surprised that I do. The White Town is a guy, his name was Jyoti Mishra, and he said the lyrics were open to interpretation. The song explores complex themes such as gender, power dynamics, and unrequited love. And the other thing is that Jyoti created this track in his home studio. He was extremely resourceful. He just kind of mixed this at home, and it became a UK number 1. And I really appreciate how it was DIY, particularly as I'm recording this podcast in different locations, outside, inside. It is pretty much a DIY effort. But you can hit a UK number 1 pop track from DIY as well, which is what this song proves. This wasn't a major label production. It was a guy with a vision and some basic gear, proving that great ideas just don't need big budgets. Oh, so good. So Joel talks about counterpoint in his response. And what that is, and I think why I love this so much, is it has various counterpoints. The first one is the melody counterpoint. So that trumpet sample mixed with the electronic, that's the melody. There's also like the contrast and the counterpoint of the different themes. So that the lyrics about betrayal and identity that are contrasted with the upbeat rhythm of the track. That's another way. And then the vocal delivery and the instruments. Like, there's so much contrast woven into this. And it's something that I talked a lot about on my previous podcast, First Time Facilitator. A lot around workshop design is just bringing in contrast, some unpredictability. So rather than starting off a workshop and just introducing yourself, like doing something a little bit different. And this song, like 1997, close to 30 years now, it continues to surprise me. I just hear different things every time I listen in. I just appreciate it even more. The other thing I really like, I think, at the moment is just remixes of songs, blending a couple different tracks in. If you were to go into my Instagram algorithm and see what it feeds me on the reels, it feeds me just all these different DJs mixing up different tracks. I really appreciate that, like that contrast, that just dynamic energy. Anyway, I know I'm geeking out on the song a lot. Do you like the song, or are you a bit sort of ambivalent towards it? I get that. And I'm really confused why it hits me so hard. I think it is because of the contrast, the kind of curiosity, the hauntingness of it, just the different things that are mashed in together that just seem to work. And I think that's why I'm doing this daily podcast. Is when I was podcasting under the theme of facilitation, I did kind of stay in that one lane. What I love about this is just being able to mash things up and bring things in that, I don't know, might be relevant or important or interesting. It might relate to you. Who knows? This is all an experiment. I guess this song, Your Woman, is just, I don't know, it just ties all of that in a really clever way. And I can't get enough of it. I reckon I'll be listening to it for another 30 years. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.